نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أوصيكم وإياي أولا بتقوى الله فقد فاز المتقون. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we make a dua together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. Allahumma bika asbahna wa bika amsayna wa bika nahya wa bika namut wa ilayka nushur. Bismillahillazi la yadurru ma'asmihi syai'un fil ardi wala fis sama wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina wa bi muhammadin nabiyya. Allahumma zidni ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ya muqallibal qulub thabbit qulubana ala dinik wa ala ta'atik. Allahumma khtim lana bil husnil khatimah wa la takhtim alayna bis su'il khatimah. Allahumma adkhilna jannatak wa ajirna minan nar. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, we always pray, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people who always remember Allah a lot. Mina zakirin wa zakirat. How to remember Allah? The best way to remember Allah, number one, is to establish our daily prayer. There's a lot of people who say they remember Allah, but they don't perform the prayer. That is not the way to remember Allah. The only thing that we have to improve ourselves in remembering Allah is to improve the quality of our prayer. We must learn how to perform the prayer that Allah have taught His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the angel Gabriel. And the angel taught the Prophet, and the Prophet said to his companion, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. When you perform your prayer, you should perform the way you seen me performed the prayer. In the Quran and the Hadith, the Quran just explained to us that the Prophet is the best example for you to follow. So the Hadith will come to explain everything in detail, the movement of the prayer that the Prophet have performed to worship Allah Rabbul Alameen. Now in general, it's time for us to be more committed to our relationship with Allah. It's time for us to change, to be sure that whatever we do in our prayer, whether it's a fardu prayer, a sunnah prayer, is following the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By having that kind of knowledge, and then you will feel satisfaction when you perform your prayer, because you know what you are doing. Why? Because the angel is always there to witness all our doing, and they report it back to Allah. If we give Allah the best, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us with the best reward. Now, when you talk about death, about funeral, we all also was reminded by Allah Rabbul Alameen in Surah Sajdah verses 11. قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّكُمْ تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah reminds us in Surah Sajdah verses 11. قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّكُمْ تُرْجَعُونَ. Meaning, tell them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Allah Rabbul Alameen start an ayah with the command kul, means it's a very strong message that the Prophet must inform his ummah, and everyone who learn about this ayah should share with others. Remind them. It's a reminder, a strong reminder. Tell them the angel of death who is assigned to you will take away your life. Meaning, everyone, there is an angel of death assigned to us. Can you imagine in 1 second, there are 100,000 of people will die in 1 second around the globe. So everyone is assigned, the angel of death is assigned to them. Why? Because he have a duty to bring us back to God. Allah can just take us, but he sent an angel to make sure that no one can escape death. So the angel of death is ready to take our soul. And according to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the angel of death, when he come to us, he normally will come as in the form of a man. Never once the angel of death came in the form of a lady. No, it's a man. He will appear in front of a person who is going to die, and to have a last look. We can see him. All the time we can see angel of death, except when the time of departure. Then when he appeared, that meant it's too late. To say, give me some time. No time. I give you enough time. Because we have experienced a lot of people, our family, our friend who pass away. So when somebody pass away, it's a reminder from angel of death. See, I'm here. And that's why now he died, because Allah have ordained, then I'm here to pull the soul. Now, let's go back to the topic that we are going to talk about on the book Funerals, page 261, page 261, under the subtitle Facing the Qibla while making dua, supplicating. Now, it is not recommended to face the grave while supplicating. Rather, one should face the Qibla, because supplication is a form of prayer. Dua is a prayer. Our prayer, salat, also the meaning of salat, lugawiyah, is prayer, dua. The meaning of salah, if people ask, what is the meaning of salah? We must say, as-salah here dua, is a prayer. The only difference, this salah, it start with takbiratul ihram, it end with assalamu alaikum. Where the general dua, you don't need to start with takbir. You just make dua, you praise Allah, and then perform salawat upon the Prophet, and you can start your dua. The dua that start with takbiratul ihram and with salam must have wudu. Without wudu, you can't. But the dua, the general dua, you can recite without having wudu, inshallah. Now, why the Prophet ﷺ is telling us that important to face the Qibla, not just to face the grave, because if you just facing the grave sometimes may not face the Qibla. Meaning, if now Qibla is behind me and the grave is here, then you are facing the Qibla. But in the same time, the grave, you are also facing the grave. But if you stand from my side, now you are not facing the Qibla, you are facing the grave. And we are not praying towards the grave. We are praying towards Allah Rabbul Alameen. We are asking Allah to protect, to forgive the people who pass away. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ also reminds us, when you visit the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, your duty is to give salam and more. When you want to make dua, face Qibla. Don't face his grave. Yeah. You cannot face. To tell us that we are not worshipping the dead. We are worshipping Allah. So, but it's so happened that the grave is there, and there is Qibla, and you're standing this side, then that is correct. Yeah? Always try to do that. When you make dua, if you know where is your Qibla, always face the Qibla. Yeah? And facing the Qibla in Salah is one of the rukun. You know where is the Qibla, purposely you do not want to face the Qibla, your prayer is not valid. But if you do not know where is the Qibla, when you are traveling, when you ask the local, neither the local can explain to you, you don't have the smartphone to help you, ways to help you, so you can have an ijtihad. You can make a decision. If you think this is Qibla, then you face that direction. Then suddenly you realize you're facing the wrong direction. So you don't worry. Your prayer is valid at the point of time because you have tried your best to seek guidance from people around you, neither they know, and then you have to pray now, you have to find your direction. From this part of the country, it's easier. You just try to look where the sun set. Yeah? The only Qibla that is 100% correct is Masjid Medina. Masjid Medina, Angel Gabriel came to the Prophet, and show him that is the Qibla. Yeah? The rest we have to make some adjustment. That's why in Malaysia sometimes, if you go to the Musalla, especially in the shopping mall, sometimes you get confused because there are two signs. First, there was here, suddenly they changed. So, now the reason this thing happened because maybe the one who started the Musalla, we don't know, which group they belong to. Sometimes if they are pro to here, they are pro to there. If they are the Shia, they may have another Qibla. But maybe we do not know. The Ahmadiyya may have another Qibla. So we do not know. So when a Qibla sign is there, we just face it. So when the authorities start to make spot check, they have time now, they have extra time, they send the office spot check with a proper gadget to identify it. Then they realize they are facing a bit out, maybe to the left or to the right. Normally it's not the opposite, but they tends to go a bit left or a bit right. Then they correct it again. So it's good to know. It's good to know the Qibla. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prohibited facing the grave in the prayer, as will be detailed later, inshallah. Ibn Taymiyyah said, this is a consistent rule, istiqamah. That means it will not change. That it is not permissible for a supplicating person to face except where he is allowed to face during the prayer. Thus, similar to the fact that it is not permissible for a person in Damascus to pray toward the east, it is not permissible for him to seek that specific direction for supplication. Some people make sure while supplicating to face a righteous man, whether he were to the east or other direction. This is a clear misguidance, dalala, and it is wrong. We have people who go to the graveyard, they just face the grave. We should face the Qibla, and then we can pray. And when we pray, we don't pray and ask the dead person to help you. No. We ask prayer and ask Allah to forgive the dead people. Yes. That's why the Prophet don't allow to say, give salam and Ya Rasulullah. No. Salam, move out. Just salam. Assalamu alayka Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Move. Assalamu alayka Ya Abu Bakar. Ya Assalamu alayka Ya Umar. Then you move out. The only grave that has been protected until today is the grave of Prophet Muhammad. You have caretaker 24 hours. Do not allow anybody to do crazy thing over there. Yeah. If this is not being taken care by those authorities who have the knowledge, you do not know what's going to happen in the grave of the Prophet. I think the whole house is full of letters, love letters. You know? People are throwing letters, putting the name, their children's name, whatever, throwing inside really. Yeah, that's why they make a place where the guard will be around and nobody can get close. Because when you allow people to get close, this thing is going to go in. You just cannot control. Yeah? And that is why the Prophet's grave, alhamdulillah, until today is being protected. But other than the Prophet's grave, Singapore, Malaysia, Pulau Besar, in Melaka, only Allah knows what kind of shirk is going on. Yeah? Maybe they are awliya illah, maybe they are righteous people, but it's not for you to ask from them anything now. They are dead. They need our prayer. That's why anytime you enter the graveyard, the first thing you have to say is, Assalamu alaikum ya ahl al-diyar wa ahl al-qubur min al-mu'minin wal muslimin wa inna insha'Allah bikum lahiqum. Alhamdulillah, we don't have to wait for them to respond to our salam. If they respond, I don't think anybody want to stay there long. They will run away. Don't ever go to this graveyard. Sometimes people are funny. They're thinking they may want to put some tape recorder there. And people come and say, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I don't think anybody want to sit there anymore. You see. This is particularly important when visiting the Prophet's grave, where the common and the ignorant people make long dua facing the grave instead of facing the Qibla. Ibn Taymiyyah also said, the position for the four Imam Malik, Abu Hanifa, Shafi, Ahmad, as well as other great scholars of Islam, is that after one says salam to the Prophet, if he wants to make dua for himself, he should face Qibla. I don't know the woman's experience in visiting the grave of the Prophet. I don't think the woman was allowed to pass in front. Their maximum is to Rauda. That is the maximum. So Rauda means you are beside. You are not in front. You are not passing through, just beside. But like what the Prophet said, Ma baina baiti wa membri Rauda mina Jannah. The area between my house and my member, where the Prophet give khutbah, is called the Garden of Paradise. Why this is where the teaching, the tazkirah, and also the guests of the Prophet will come and sit there. Anybody who want to see the Prophet, if the Prophet is at home, they will wait there. They'll give salam and then they'll wait until the Prophet will come out. So it's important to understand that when you face the grave, you are making dua for them, but when you want to make dua, always find the direction of your Qibla. Don't stand the other direction. Wrong acts related to visit. Saying things that would anger Allah. As we mentioned early in this chapter, an important restriction, sometimes brothers and sisters, before you want to say anything, if possible, you exercise restraint, control first. Whether what you say is correct or not, is good or not, is right or not, is very important. I know sometimes we have a lot of feeling involved. We want to express ourselves, but it's very important to exercise restraint first, control. Prophet Muhammad clearly said, for visiting the grave is to refrain from saying any heedless word that would anger Allah. It's a place to remind you about your return back to Allah. visiting the grave is a reminder for all of us who are living that sooner or later we are going back to Allah. It's not a time for you to joke around, talk about dunya. Yeah? In the shopping mall, you talk about dunya. You don't go and talk about, all this product at the graveyard. No. You want to do business outside the grave. But sometimes people are doing business at the grave today now. You have a group of people now sitting under the waqaf, a small roof, a small hut, and then waiting. They also have cakes, cookies ready, and also they prepare water, they prepare flour. Business is going on. Can you imagine that we are just sitting around the grave and we are thinking of making money? Yeah. They will come to you. There are certain graveyards, when we visit, they will come to you. They will come to you and I clean for you? You want me to organize anything? Just like, no. We must immediately tell them, no. We have to tell them. And sometimes, we are local. Over there, there's another group, but they are Indonesian. We are Malaysian. So what? Indonesian means they cannot do things. Yeah? Only you must get the local. No. But what they do is, now this is a sign again that we do not put the right people at the graveyard to take care of the graveyard. In the Middle East, you don't have this nonsense. Why? Because the caretaker of the graveyard are people of knowledge. They will stop you immediately. Yeah. Here, they encourage you because business. All the different grass, different stone, and the others. Yeah. So we have to stop this by not entertaining all these people. Yeah. Facing the grave, in prayer. Abu Marta Ghanawi reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La tusallu ila al-qubur wa la tajlisu alayha." Do not face the grave in prayer. That means you are praying, asking the dead people for something. Not sit on them. And this is where we don't encourage people to sit when they visit the graveyard. Unless you are not well, you have to sit, but make sure you do not sit on any grave, just beside, because to honor the graveyard. The graveyard is not for you to relax, for you to reflect. It's good to stand. The Prophet loved to stand. Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu said, when the Prophet entered the graveyard after he witnessed the burial, waqafa Rasulullah ala qabri. He said the Prophet prefer to stand. Only those who are old age, they need some support, you can. But make sure you don't step on any other grave that is beside the graveyard of our loved ones. I always remind a lot of people to do that, but so sad. People are not alert about this adab. A lot of people who like to do good things, but they don't have adab. It's just like you enter a mosque, you want to sit, you can't. The Prophet said when you enter a mosque, you want to sit, you must perform 2 raka'at, tahiyatul masjid. Without that prayer, the Prophet said, don't ever sit in the mosque. You can just stand, walk around, no problem. You want to sit, you must pray 2 raka'at, tahiyatul masjid. That's why if there's a nikah being conducted in the masjid, in the praying area, the sister especially. Now whose mistake is that? The mistake is the authority who want to conduct that kind of nikah in the praying hall. But they forgot to inform those who are coming, please pray. This is important. People don't care, especially the bride and the groom. They are so prepared for the nikah. I don't know they have wudu or not sometimes. Normally they say without wudu, sometimes they also have upacara batal wudu. Yeah? Only we have upacara batal wudu. In the beginning, you don't know whether they have wudu or not. You know? Normally, I don't think they have wudu because they are so, pampered by all their family members. They are like a doll now, just sitting. People will draw here, draw there, put this cream, put this powder, and then they are like a baby doll. See, it's just like when we want to go for shooting. Yeah, we have to sit down and somebody will come and brush your face, and then makeup, powder, they say, to minimize the glitter, the sweat and so on. But sometimes we also are trying to make it easier. Please make it fast, Now, the Prophet ﷺ is commanding us, all this teaching is to make sure that we do not end up committing shirk. Shirk can just come in, and shirk is something that Allah will not forgive. Inna shirk la zulmun azim, Allah said, the biggest zulm is committing shirk. فَمَنْ مَاتَ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةَ وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارُ. And Allah said, whoever die committing shirk with me, I make Jannah haram for them. They will not enter Jannah. Other sin I will forgive, but not shirk. It is important to note that this prohibition applies to those who face the grave in their prayer without intending any kind of glorification for the grave. If they face the grave in the prayer out of respect and glorification, their action will be an act of shirk. This is what happened to the people of the book Ittaqazu. Ahbarahum wa rahbanahum arbama min dunillah. There's other hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that they have make the graveyard of their holy people, the elders, as a place of worship. It is not permissible to pray among the grave even if one did not face them in the prayer. Abu Sa'id al-Qudri reported that Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, Ar-ardu kulluha masjid illa al-maqbara wal-hamam. All the earth is a place for prayer. It's a masjid for us. Now this hadith and this gift was given only to the Prophet ﷺ and his ummah. In the early generation, whoever want to worship Allah, they will have to go to a place. In the time of the Prophet, Allah knows that he is the last messenger, and the ummah of the Prophet is going to spread out like wildfire. There is no internet at that time, no Facebook, no IT, but billions of followers today, without any technology. And that's, the Prophet said, Allah make the earth for us to pray except two places. Hammam, hammam is toilets, and the maqbara, graveyard. The only prayer that the Prophet have shown us is janazah prayer. Other than janazah prayer, you cannot do, because janazah prayer is one of the unique prayer that you pray without ruku' and sujud. Where other prayers, the sunnah or fardu, you have ruku' and sujud. We have a case before. This is the case of the rivers. Today, our rivers are not strong in their iman like before. Before, people know when you become Muslim, you have to go through all this suffering, and they're ready to go through. They will die for what they believe. Today, because the iman of most of our believers are very, very weak. Even when they want to become a Muslim, they're not yeah, make it clear to their family members. So we have cases, people who become Muslims say, inform your parents. No, 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 I can't do this. I don't want to hurt them. You know, my mother, her heart is very weak. I do not want to cause her to have heart attack. And then if she will die because of this news, then people will blame me again. So all this reason, they forgot that maybe by you saying to them, and they also are attracted to Islam, you may even save their soul. But we have the wrong understanding. We are very negative. Yeah? So what they do, I asked this guy, so normally he's learning how to pray, but he's still staying with the family. So we asked him, now, Zohar you can pray outside because you are out from the house. Asar also, Maghrib, Isha, no, but Fajr, you sleep at home. So where do you pray your Fajr? He said, I pray in the bathroom. Because that is the only place I feel safe. Because when I go to the bathroom, nobody will enter. You know. But if I pray in my room, they may knock my room. They may come in. What are you doing here? And this is the problem. When you dare not show them who you are, you hide your iman, and that is the problem. This is the place that Allah, the Prophet said, no prayer in hammam. Unless you have been arrested, they tie you in the washroom. That's the only place you are going to stay. Then darura you can. But this is not darura, you just have to tell them. I remember when I first became Muslim, when I went home, they knew that I'm a Muslim already. Only they are upset. They don't want to talk to me. And then when prayer come, I just excused myself, went into one room. And then I made my prayer. Then one of my grandma was with me also. I said, this house is going to have a lot of problem, because in one small house you have 3 gods, You have one, the Chinese idol is there, and then a cross is hanging another area, and now you come with another god. So they say there's no more peace in this house. So normally I joke around, say, never mind, let them fight and see whose god is stronger. God, they get upset and say, because they cannot hurt our God, because our God is not a form of anything. You can see him, but if either it can fall, break colors, gone. A cross also sometimes, it get faded and then color and so on. But they can't see. So that's why they say you are talking. You say you are talking crazy thing. You see, I say let them see who is stronger. It is something good for everybody just to start to think. That's why Allah make himself in that form. He did not came in the form of anything. No one has seen him. That is the unique of Allah Rabbul Alamin. You just have to believe in him. And that's why one of the important iman's requirement is to believe in the unseen. Allazina yu'minuna bil ghayb. That makes us very different compared with other people. They say seeing is believing. We say believing without seeing is more logical. People will say, how can you believe in something you don't see? You say, it's not logic. No, there's more logic. There's so many things we believe without seeing. You know this handphone is made by somebody, but have you seen it? No. You are there. You just buy the handphone. You know all this chip. Have you seen who is the one who invented this chip? You haven't seen them. Hearsay. But you believe. There must be a maker. Yeah. Thing will not just appear like that. How about human? Human is very unique. We are the one who invent all this technology. But who created us? There must be a creator. You don't see them, and it's good. Because if you see them, he's not the creator. A lot of things we believe there's soul inside our body. You cannot see your soul. You go for scanning, MRI, they cannot scan the soul. They only scan the other organ. But you believe that is so. The weird thing is people believe there is ghosts. Nobody's seen ghosts before. They always imagine ghosts have long hair, long nail, long teeth like Dracula. Who tells us ghosts look like that? If the jinn will appear and say, I don't look like this. Anyhow, we do believe it. In the fitra of every one of us, we believe that there is something very powerful. Anas also reported, Allah's Messenger ﷺ prohibited praying among the grave. That means you just pray at the grave is not allowed. Allah's Messenger commands us to distinguish our homes from graveyard through praying in them, which means that graveyards are not a places for prayer. Omar reported that the Prophet said, Ij'alu fi buyutikum min salatikum wala tattaqizuha qubura. Offer prayer, some of your prayer, in your houses and do not turn them into a grave. That's why the Muslim home, there's always some prayer. And that's what the Prophet said, Afdal salah fil bayti. Fil bayti. The best prayer is at home. Illa al-ma'tuba in Sahih Muslim, except fardu prayer. And fardu prayer is only for the man to go to the mosque. The woman, the best prayer is always at home. And the best place at home is your bedroom. You have complete privacy. You feel very secure when you pray. But remember, even you're praying in your private room, don't forget to face the sutra. Sometimes when you know nobody is there, nobody is going to walk in front of you, must I have a sutra? Yes, the Prophet said, don't perform any prayer without facing a sutra. And very sad to say, until today, we, not only the general public, even Muslims who call themselves learned Muslim, people of knowledge, scholars, imam, they don't care about this ruling. Like how we have been reminded again and again, each time when we want to perform the congregational prayer, stand close to each other and stand straight and close the gap. People don't care. Why? This is what Allah said. Lahum azanun la yasma'una biha. If we behave in that manner, we have been reminded again and again, but we don't bother about the reminder. We are worried our ending, ulaika kal an'am. They are like cattle, Allah said. Those who have the ear and they hear but they don't respond. Allah will make us like cattle. And then Allah said, Balhum abal. Not just like cattle, they are worse than cattle. The dog, you keep on reminding him, sit, sit, he will sit one day. Get up, he will get up. But if you have been reminding the man, especially when they pray Jama'ah, saf, luruskan saf, straighten your row, stand close to each other, shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet, they don't care. You can see that until today you go to the masjid to pray Jama'ah prayer. You feel so sad to look at the attitude, the character of the Ummah today. What happened to us? We have been reminded again and again, every single prayer by the Imam. People just don't bother. You say anything you like, this is me. Last Jum'at, I was praying and a guy was beside me. Khutbah was on. He was with the handphone. I hold his hand, put some pressure. He looked at me, I don't look at him. Then he just stopped for a while. I released my hand. After a while, he started again. People don't care today. May Allah protect all of us and our children from behaving the way that a lot of people is behaving. What is the characteristic of the first, second, third generation? Sami'na wa ata'na. That is why Allah blessed them. We sami'na wa asayna. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La taj'alu buyutakum maqabir. Inna syaitan yanfiru minal bait allazi tuqra'u fihi surat al-Baqarah." It's telling us how to have a peaceful household. Do not turn your houses into graveyards, because Satan ran away from a house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is recited. This is where the Muslims have this called housewarming. Our housewarming is not Yasin. We do also sometimes, but every time when we gather is Yasin. The Prophet make it very clear, he guide us. If you want to have a housewarming or office warming, you start an office, a new place, just call. If you can do it, the best. Whoever is working there, they sit together and they recite Al-Baqarah. When the Prophet said recite Al-Baqarah, that means everybody who is there, everybody participate. It's not like let's have a circle. We sit in the circle and then, okay, I start maybe 20 ayat and then I stop. You continue 20, I stop. No, it's not like that. The way the Prophet taught his ummah, when he said recite, whoever is there, recite Al-Baqarah together. If the children is going to stay there, let the children participate. Some people did ask me, how about we just put a tape recorder? You can put the tape recorder, of course. Nobody can stop you to put a CD there. But the shaitan will not disturb the CD, They'll let the CD keep on moving. And the only thing that will disturb the CD when there's no battery. But the one who is going to stay there is we human beings. The thing that shaitan is going to disturb is to disturb us. Yuwaswi sufi sudurin nas. They're the one who disturb. When our heart have no peace, have doubt, then all the disturbance will come in. Have you experienced the unrest in your heart when you have no peace? When you have doubts only, then it's coming in very fast. When you have doubts, you know that he's working very hard to develop that. So you keep on entertaining the doubts. There's no more peace. So overcome doubts with yaqeen. And this is what the Prophet said. It's not for you to recite any other thing that is recommended except Surah Al-Baqarah. And there's other hadiths the Prophet said, Baqarah was Suratul Ali Imran. You can continue with Surah Ali Imran. And the best way to recite is one sitting. Meaning you start after Fajr until you end the Baqarah, then you stop. And you do have your breakfast, no problem. Or you want to start after Isha until you finish the recitation and then you take rest. That is the best way to recite Surah Al-Baqarah. But one important thing is La taj'alu buyutakum maqabir. Do not turn your houses into graveyard. Graveyard, normally people. Now why the Prophet said Surah Al-Baqarah at home and not in the graveyard? Because Quran is not for you to recite at the graveyard. Graveyard is for you to make prayer, dua. That's all. And to remind yourself about that you are going down there too soon. Just reflect and get yourself prepared. Want to recite Quran at home. That's the place. And not, it's just not nice. Even if you're doing a haram business, you don't go and recite Quran. You are creating another fitna. You don't go to the bar and then the people want to open a bar and can you come and make some shop warming? They give you some money, don't go. Because you are misrepresenting Islam. And there was an issue before, you remember, when some sister who want to promote one kind of Islamic dress, Islamic tudung and so on. You remember the case? Then they do it in a place where it's like a club, where but they don't serve that particular day. They don't serve, but it's known that this is a place where people go for drinking and all. So it's not good. You're promoting that area. Alhamdulillah, there was some scholar who advised the group who is doing that. That is not the right place. It's better for you to do it in an open area, park, but not in a shop that's selling something haram. But they are not selling at that time. No, but you are promoting that place. It's like people give you some T-shirt to wear and they put here, Guinness stuff is good for you. You're not drinking. It's a free T-shirt. And you bring this shirt to the masjid and pray Semayan Jumaat. Allahu Akbar. And the person stand behind you, astaghfirullah, what is he trying to do? Sometimes we forgot. We are not alert about all these things. Especially our children. Sometimes the dress that they wear, only Allah knows. It's like they are representing the shaitanic group. With all the kind of faces, or the T-shirt, and then when you go to the masjid, you are looking at this kind of picture. It's not correct. Making the graves places of prayer. It is also prohibited to build or establish masjid over grave. This area, our authority failed to protect the graveyard. In Penang, when I was staying in Penang, we have a group they call Tanah Wakaf Action Front. Penang Action Front. We were together, and that was in the early 70s. There are so many Tanah Wakaf in Penang Island, and the Tanah Wakaf is situated in the center, not say Kampung area, Kampung Makam, Kampung Dodong, all the Captain Kling area. I stay in Kampung Makam, and they want to rebuild this Tanah Wakaf. This Tanah Wakaf is wakaf for the poor, untuk fakir miskin. Now the ones who are staying there now are not poor. They are building their own border now. It's a Tanah Wakaf. You cannot take it as a private property. It's not your property. So those who stay there before when they are poor, after they are okay now, they should have shift out and give space, give way to other people to come in. Everybody is extending and putting fencing. We fight against that. And they want to rebuild. Okay, you want to rebuild, but can you be sure that you manage this properly? There's no guarantee from that. In Penang, you have the Simpang Enam. You know, Simpang Enam in Penang, just opposite Komta, there's one mosque there. If you go there, you see that. They want to, there's Wakaf land too. It's just next to Komta. So there are few areas we fight, especially Kampung Dodon. Kampung Dodon, there's a Wakaf land beside the Makbarah, the graveyard. We say Hussain Yahya, whoever staying in that area, you know. I just lived there before. Now, the graveyard that is there is almost full now. That was in the 70s. You have some extension land that was given as a waqf land for maqbarah, for the grave, for the graveyard. Very sad. Yeah. They want to build building, accommodation, flat. Good intention. We fight for that land. Kampung Makam was safe until today, alhamdulillah. No development yet. But the rich ones still stay there. They don't want to move out. Yeah. It's the weakness from our side. And again, Tanah Wakaf is very cheap. Very, very cheap. Maybe $20, $50 per month. Who want to go out? And it's in the center of the town. We fight for that land, alhamdulillah. Until today, it still stay there. But Kampung Dodok, they bulldoze it and they build flats next to the graveyard. If this was not been wakaf for graveyard, you can, but it's wakaf for graveyard. And the Prophet said, do not build even masjid. Even masjid cannot be built on the graveyard. Then people may worship the grave. But what happened in the old masjid before, they put the masjid, the graveyard beside the masjid. That is okay. But we have problem today. They have land beside the masjid. There's no grave in front. But later on when they want to extend, they extend the graveyard in front. That is where it went wrong. You should not. We are worried. People say, now we are also facing the grave. And the Prophet did say that do not pray in a place where there's a graveyard or there's a grave inside the mosque. Worried that people are worshipping the grave more than worshipping Allah. One masjid in Singapore until today, there are some problem that a lot of scholars do not go and pray there. There is Masjid Sultan. Masjid Sultan because one of the scholars passed away, and then they built the makam inside. Yeah. In Penang also you have Masjid apa? Anybody remember one masjid in what? I also forgot that name, masjid. And they call Makbul, something like that. No? Some scholar die in India, and then they bring the ashes. No? They burn, no? And then they bring his ashes and bring it down to Penang and bury it there. And a lot of people, yeah, near to the, not all the Captain Kling punya area. No, Masjid Nagor. Masjid Nagor. Yeah. Fauzia is also from Penang, alhamdulillah. Penang people should know. Yeah. Yeah. It's very popular, you see. Whoever is the caretaker of this masjid, he always have free food. Because there's a lot of supply. People keep on coming. And those who's going there are Muslim. Yeah, there's the problem we are facing today. Yeah? Making the grave places of worship. Yeah? Both Aisha and Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma reported that when Allah Messenger was in the throes of death, he would cover and uncover his face with a black piece of cloth as the pain subdued and intensified. While he was in that state, he said, La'anatullah ala Yahud wa Nasara ittakhadhu qubur anbiya'ihim masajid. Allah curse is upon the Jew and the Christians, people of the book. They are people of the book. They are very close to us. People of the book in the Quran, Allah did mention, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالُوا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. When you talk to people, you don't be harsh on them. You don't show your anger or hate them. When you call them, Allah said, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالُوا. Say to the people of the, come to us, come, let us come together to do what? إِلَّا كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ أَلَّا نَعْبُدَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Let us come back to the common terms. Because Moses in the Torah, Jesus in the Bible, Quran, the Prophet, all is inviting all of us to worship the one God. Moses is not God, Jesus is not God, Muhammad is not God. They are prophets and messengers. Let us come together and worship the true God, the God of Moses, the God of Jesus, the God of Muhammad, the God who created all of us, Allah Rabbul Alamin. Yeah. They are very close to us. Yeah. They're like our senior brother, elder brothers. But the Prophet is making it very clear before he passed away. Allah curse is upon the Jew and the Christian, people of the book. They turn their prophets' graves into prayer places. Because they are going to this area to perform prayer, where we can't. That's why our Prophet have to be very careful to make sure that when he died, nobody turned his grave into a place of worship. But who is going to take care if the people who have authority are not firm? It's big money, you know, if somebody can just control that place, and whoever want to come in, 10 riyal, 50 riyal, people will pay. Can you imagine how much you have collected? And almost every day you have thousands of people who is visiting the grave of our Prophet. How much can you collect? Big money. Alhamdulillah, Allah protected our prophets from this fitna, that his ummah, that Allah entrust them to take care of this area. They are scholars. No way. Yeah? But sometimes we also make mistakes. Who make mistakes? Leaders make mistakes. Muslim leaders sometimes are also ignorant about a lot of ruling. They were allowed to go to all these places with escort. And then when they make dua, they face the grave. No, that is very sad to see what is happening today. They should know that you are not supposed, you just give salam and show good example, face the Qibla and make dua. If leader is doing that, who want to push the leader? If any public do that, they will immediately push you. Yalla, yalla, amshi, they will say, move. But when leader is there, leader are not showing good example. With that, he was warning of their action. In one of the report, Aisha radiallahu anha added, if it were not for that reason, his grave would have been made visible to the people, but it was feared that they would make it a place of worship, prayer. That's why the way they built the place where the maqam of the Prophet is, they built it so they close up. Yeah? They have some ventilation, but you cannot see from outside. But I know when I was a student in the 70s, you can see on and off they got to go in and clean, and they find so many letters, so many paper, thrown inside. And again, we know that our Prophet cannot read, and you are sending letter. You say, what can we do? Who is going to read for him? Nobody is going to read for him over there. and maybe some Urdu, right? And some Malay writing, and then Jawi, and what can we do? When you are ignorant, you can do many things, and you don't use common sense anymore. Yeah. Abu Huraira reported that Allah's Messenger also said, "Qatil la'na Allah Yahud wa Nasara ittaqaza qubur anbiya'ihim masajid." The same kind of hadith that we have recited earlier. Allah curses the people of the book. Why? They turn their prophets' graves into prayer places. Alhamdulillah. May Allah Rabbul Alameen save us from this act of Jahiliyyah. This is the act of the Jahiliyyah. People of the book also follow this kind of, I would say the tradition. It's a very common tradition, and the same go to us. We are the people of the book, we have the Quran, and we also fall into the same category. That's why Pulau Besar was been stopped at one time. The Mufti said haram, shirik. Then after the change of the authority, the Mufti has been changed, then nobody reinforced anymore, and people start to go there again. Singapore also have their own well-known place. The Maqbara of what? Singapore is known for who? Makam Habib Noor. I've been there before. And most of the Habib will go. Like what the Prophet said is happening in a time of the people of the book, and we who claim that we are the people of the Quran, we are following the same footstep that the early people of the book is doing. So we are going to follow them step by step until one day they will just step at the hole, and we also will step in the same hole, and we'll go down together with them. Allah's Messenger also said, Allahumma la taj'al qabri wathanan la'an Allah qawman ittaqza qubur anbiya'ihim masajid. Oh Allah, do not make my grave an object of worship. The Prophet are very worried, and that's why he keep on reminding his ummah before he passed away. Don't make my grave an object of worship. Can you imagine that what the God is still guarding until today? You still have people facing the graveyard in making dua. Still you have these people doing it. But when they saw the God coming close to them, quickly they walk. This is the act of the ignorant people, Jahiliyyah. Jundub reported that he heard Prophet Muhammad say the following 5 nights before he passed away. When the Prophet is going to pass away, he gone through a lot of up and down. His sickness, he become okay for a while, then back again. So there's a lot of things that the Prophet keep on reminding his ummah. The meaning of the hadith, I have from among you brothers and friends. فَكَانَ لِي فِيكُمْ أُخْوَةً أَخَوَاتٍ وَأَصْدِقَاءٍ. I have from among you brothers and friends. But I did a while before Allah to have a Khalil. Excuse me. Now the Prophet ﷺ is talking that he would like to have a Khalil from among you, because Allah has chosen me to be his Khalil, and he has chosen Ibrahim to be his Khalil. Were I to choose a Khalil from my Ummah, I would have chosen Abu Bakr. And verily those who passed before you had made the grave of their prophets and righteous men, known to us as awliya, places of worship, prayer. So do not make the grave prayer places, for I prohibited you from doing that. Now one important thing the Prophet keep on reminding this, because he was being exposed to what happened to the early prophets. And that's why there's other hadith the Prophet did mention that Allah's blessing, that majority of the grave of the Prophet is not been known to many people. There are so many prophets, 100 over 1,000 of prophets. There's a lot of prophets. 25 only is named in the Quran. But how many that we know their graveyards? Even Prophet Abraham alayhi salam, if you go to visit Palestine, they will say this, but no one confirmed. Hearsay. When I was in Syria in the early, the middle, the late 70s, people said this is the kubur of this prophet, that prophet. Only Allah knows that, because people start to claim, because when you start to do that and people believe it's a good income, it's a good income. If you go to Jeddah, you may want to visit the graveyard of Hawa, because she's not a prophet. It's okay, but a lot of the people will not want to bring you there, because they are worried that people will start to have another kind of feeding, and it's long. Her graveyard is very long. It's about 60 arm length, the height of Hawa. It's long. So what that is very interesting in this hadith is about the word Khalil. And when the Prophet said, if Allah will give me the right to choose a Khalil, I will choose Abu Bakr. Khalil, that's why you have this people called Khalifa. Khalifa is Khalfa, behind, after. Khalfa is after. Khalifa means after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Abu Bakr, when people call him Khalifatullah, he said, don't call me Khalifatullah, call me Khalifa Rasulillah. I am the Khalif of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now this is also the sign that when the Prophet said that, some of the close companions of the Prophet are aware about his feeling towards Abu Bakr. And that's why when he passed away, Omar just can't accept it. To the extent Omar said, whoever dare to say Prophet Muhammad is dead, I will cut off his head. Because of the love they have towards the Prophet, they just cannot accept that he is gone. When you love someone very much, sisters and brothers, you will feel hurt more. If you don't love that person that much, it's more easy. That is common. Even companions also have that kind of show that kind of reaction. It's not haram, but to the extent that you don't accept the fact that he is gone, then somebody must calm you down. And who dare to say to Omar? Nobody. You go again, he cut off your head, khalas. And then only Abu Bakr. He came and said, whoever worship Muhammad, listen carefully, Muhammad is dead. Qad mat. Whoever worship Allah, Allah Hayyun Qayyum La Yamut. Allah is Hayyun. He lives forever. Yeah. Qayyum, he stands by himself and he will never die. Then Umar come down. That's why the death of our Prophet ﷺ take days, yeah, to be buried. Because people keep on coming to perform Salat al-Janazah. The only thing that nobody dare to become Imam. Yeah. The Prophet's death, nobody become Imam. Everybody will come, gather together and pray individually. They may stand thousands of people, hundreds of people, but praying individually. And the delay is because people are still discussing, where should we bury him? Bring him back to Mecca, yeah, the place that he was born, and to be buried next to Khadijah, because Khadijah is in Mecca. To bring him to Uhud with Hamza, bring him to Baqi' with some of the other companions. So this kind of thing was, yeah, been discussed. Then Abu Bakr cleared the air. Then the Prophet did mention that where the Prophet died, that is where he will be buried. He died in the house of Aisha, and that's where he was buried. And that's why he was buried there. Yeah. But what is important, Khalil. Khalil is a very close companions. May Allah choose Ibrahim Khalil Allah. Meaning whatever Allah want Ibrahim to do, Ibrahim will do it. The biggest test for Ibrahim is what? Yeah, it's the Qurban. After he reached so old, 80 over years, Allah gave him a son, the firstborn, Ismail. Oh, he loved his sons. Of course, after 80 over years, you got a son. Then Allah said, I want you to offer your son as a sacrifice. But mashallah, yeah. But he did not just pretend to sacrifice. He really talked to the son. The son said, do, oh my father. If this is from Allah, I will be with you. And that's where they moved to Mina, the place to offer the sacrifice. The month of sacrifice is coming very close now. But what did Allah want Ibrahim to sacrifice? A goat? A cow? His beloved son. And Allah replaced it. That's why, alhamdulillah, if not, nobody want to go to Hajj. You want to go to Hajj, bring your boy again. Bring your son along. Who want to go? Yeah, Allah replaced with the calf, yeah, Qurban. And now we are doing all Qurban. But the real sacrifice is not that. It's symbolic. The real sacrifice is you are prepared to sacrifice what you love most for the sake of Allah. Anything you can do for Allah, give the best. Yeah? Give the best. So we have the Qurban activities for Malaysia. A cow is about 4,600. Yeah, it's been, yeah, shed, yeah, in our broadcast already. Yeah. That is for local. Yeah. A goat, it costs you about 950 ringgit. For Cambodia this year, they sent us the pictures. They have a very slim cow, costs very cheap, maybe about 2,000 plus ringgit. And another, after that, another size, we said, no, that cow is too slim. Let him eat first. No, don't offer something for Allah as long as you still give the best. So we have a good size that costs about 770 US, yeah, for Cambodia. So whoever want to participate, they can just go to the office and then, yeah, do that, inshallah. Yeah. So brother and sister, inshallah, if the Prophet have said that Abu Bakr is his Khalil, anybody curse Abu Bakr, you cannot accept that person anymore. That's why we cannot accept any Muslim who claim that he's Muslim, but they curse Abu Bakr. They say Abu Bakr is kafir. You know what I'm referring to? Yeah, there's a group who call themselves they're Muslim, but they curse Abu Bakr. Then we cannot accept that. Yeah. May Allah protect us, yeah, from saying anything bad to the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, where they are the best of nation, yeah? The best people. Khairun nas qarni, the best people are the people who live in my time. Yeah? And verily those who passed before you had made the graves of their prophet and righteous men, known to us as wali awliya, places of prayer. So do not make the graves prayers place, for I prohibited you from doing that. Yeah? The last thing I'd like to share with you is the Prophet said from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, among the worst of people are those who will be alive when the doom hour come, and those who turn the grave into prayer places. They are the worst people. Shara nas. Yeah? So let us save ourselves, yeah, from all this doing, and may Allah Rabbul Alameen protect our children. Yeah? That's why the Prophet don't like you to beautify your graveyard. Make it simple. Yeah? I don't know I share it with you here or not. There are a group of people who hate some of the companion and the family of the Prophet. They only love Fatima. They don't love Aisha. They curse Aisha. Sometimes when they enter Baqi', they will bring a small bottle, keep into their pocket. No one can check. A bottle of urine. Yeah? And just, yeah, throw it, around the other graveyard. That's why we must be very careful when you come across a group of people who call themselves Muslim brothers, and they do this to the companion of the Prophet and the family of the Prophet. May Allah protect us from all this fitan, inshallah. If there's any question, now we open for Q&A. Fatafaddal. Question from the sisters first. Any question from the sisters? Someone is pointing to another sister. Yeah? Yes. Today is 25, huh? 25th, huh? We welcome our brother Nasim from Australia. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Any question? Yeah. Assalamu wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
She wants to ask a question, but she asked me to ask.
Okay, then you do that. You are her Khalil now.
Is it true that there are graves in Masjid Negara?
Outside, yeah. Actually, the extension, yeah. They do some extension to honor leaders. You see, sometimes we have good intention, but we make the wrong judgment. It creates some fitna that people who are aware of that, they don't want to pray there. People who don't know, they don't mind, but people who are aware, they don't want to go and pray there.
But how come you don't know? I mean, we are Malaysian citizens. And then when somebody orang besar dies, they show it on TV.
Yeah.
So people know.
No. I mean, the general public who are used to go to the same mosque, you know, but visitors sometimes they don't know. Yeah. Good intention, you honor some leaders, you know.
Ustaz,
Now,
coming to Salat Tahiyatul Masjid,
Tahiyatul Masjid.
if a surau, does it qualify as a masjid?
Yeah. We in our country, you have surau. In the Middle East, they don't have this term surau. Masjid is masjid. When there is a 5-time prayer, fixed imam, then it become a masjid. We have problem, we have 5-time prayer. The only thing our surah experience, no Jumaat. But it can be upgraded in the future. If the demand of the public, and then if you know somebody, say, we want to pray Jumaat here, and sometimes they allow. Yeah, some musalla is turned into you can pray Jumaat. But in the time of the Prophet, any area that you have appointed it to be, you specified for prayer only, and you have 5 prayer, 5 azan, 1 imam, that is called masjid. So but here is not a masjid. We call here Diwan. You know. Yeah. Because there's no azan 5 times here. Only when we want to pray, we call azan. There's no fixed imam over here. It must have a fixed imam. Then you consider a masjid. So our surah in general actually is a masjid. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you earlier on you talk about not having people over in Malaysia. They don't know it. Most of them, they don't use sutra
Yeah, they don't use sutra.
because they don't know about it.
Maybe if I want to have the benefit of doubts, I think maybe they are not exposed to this hadith, or either they just don't take it seriously.
Yeah, I have tried my best whenever I go to such places to pray, and then I notice people not using
But sutra,
and then I commented to one young girl about sutra, and she said she's got a sutra. That's the
the
sajada.
sujadah. Another confusion, they don't understand what is sutra. When I was learning about Islam in Malaysia before I moved to the Middle East, no one told me about sutra. Majority of our local here, they don't even touch that part. They just pray, and then tell you rukun and wajib and so that. They don't go in detail. That's why until today we failed, to reinforce this rule. Because nobody talk about that. I don't think other area they'll talk about sutra. I never seen any masjid in khutbah talk about sutra until today. Something that is so basic, so important, because the Prophet said, don't pray without facing a sutra. It's based on authentic hadith, but nobody talk about it. The people who are talking about Saf, everybody is talking about Saf. Every imam is talking. Nobody bother about following the command. We have an attitude problem. Sami'na wa asayna. So we hope we are not like them. And we keep on telling our children, start from our children, those who are close to us. We hope that the coming generation will make changes. If the present generation is not going to change, but we hope, Allah will send another generation to come. Inshallah. Wabillahi tawfiq. Yes, last one.
Last one about the sutra. So when I tell them about the sutra, they give me this look of incredibility, What's this mad woman talking about? And very seldom do I get a younger person, after I finish sharing with them about sutra, they grab my hand and kiss it, very seldom. Most of them give me a funny look. What's this old lady talking about? Must be mad.
If you can memorize the hadith about sutra, it's good next time. They don't even know what is sutra. Apa sutra? Sila, sila. I don't use silk one. They don't know. No, you see, I never myself, who mix around scholar in discussion, in a forum, never once I heard any ustad talk about that. Now how can the public learn? The public are ignorant. I will give the benefit of doubts. The majority are ignorant. But we, who Allah give us the knowledge, it's time for us to act upon it and let people see what we are doing. Maybe they will ask, hey, what is this? And then we explain to them. And those who still don't understand, we have to talk to them. Keep on. That's why Adinu Nasir, religion is based on good advice. Keep on reminding each other. Never fail to remind each other. It's hard. Reminding people is headache sometimes, you know. It's not that I never tell you. I tell you time, 10 times, you are still the same. But that's how Allah rewards us. وَتَوَصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You must have patience, sister. Yeah? When you say this thing to anyone, you must have patience. Because people are not going to respond to you that easily. Because Imam don't say that, Qadi don't say that, and all the great scholars don't say that. In the TV program, you can see nobody talk about that. One thing that is very basic is your communication to Allah every day. They don't bother. Now, what do you think that is more important than prayer in Islam? No. And we don't bother about the important thing, and we go into an area we waste a lot of time arguing, disagreeing, think that this have nothing to disagree. It's in the hadith. May Allah bless us. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Lastly, please Jama'ah, don't forget outside we have a special kind of drink for buatin and buat delima, roman, special juices. Yeah. No, buatin is tin, and then you have roman one. Okay, subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik, and seal his honor. Alhamdulillah. Wassalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.